Here we are with GTR number 6. It's by far the best one I've ever done. It has so many custom things. I'm going to try to cover them all in one video. But the first thing to look at is the custom paint. It is a House of Color Kameleon blue to red, and the stripes are done with a little bit of red to gold in the red, blue to red, just to give it kind of a ghost stripe. So as you go from different angles, the stripe will start to disappear. It's a little cloudy today, so you don't get to see the full pearl in the paint. But there's quite a bit of pearl, and it really pops in the sun. So it has, the way it's painted is the whole car gets painted in a gloss black, and then the Kameleon effect paint goes on top of that. 3 coats of House of Color USCO1 clear. It's taken out, sanded with 800, brought back in the booth, 3 more coats of clear, and then it's cut and buff from there. Has Forged Star wheels, carbon fiber side vents, original Ford GT mirrors. They're electric, adjustable from the inside. It has original GT side markers that are smoked out a little bit just to make them more subtle. It has the original GT glass. It has the billet upper vents, engine vents on top, and then the side vents also. They're done in aluminum. Carbon fiber diffuser. Right now it has Forged Star wheels, and they're getting swapped out next week for HREs. I'll do a little update on that, but wanted to get the video done. And you notice here it has full DOT glass in the front window, which is fixed, and then the side windows. And I'll show you in a bit when I open the door. But yes, they are electric windows. They go up and down fully. Got DOT, actual Ford GT glass. The fuel filler is relocated to the passenger side, so you can actually open your door at the gas station. No joke. It was on the left side. When you pull to the pump, you can't open your door. Carbon fiber headlight buckets, carbon fiber fog light buckets. The fog lights have both signal lights and halos. It's got a full front splitter. It's pretty close to the ground. It's 4 inches, but it also has a lift system which brings it up 3 inches for clearance. So I'm going to open up the hood so you can see just what's under there. Nothing real exciting, but still, just that the hood opens is a challenge and an accomplishment once you get it to work properly. So it's opened up. You can see it's held by gas struts, and it's an electric pole that unlatches it, and it latches itself when it comes down. It's got the remote reservoirs for the brakes, clutch, and lift system. Optima battery, high power cooling fans. It's got a custom brace steering rack. And to close it, it just comes down and latches itself. The doors are on door poppers also, and it's just a push of a button from the fob, and the door will open up. So looking inside, the first thing we'll take a look at are these electric windows. So it's just a flick of a button, Have it come down, and go fully down and fully up. Now the glass is actually from 2005 Ford GT, but the window tracks themselves here and here on top and the side and inside the door don't exist. So it was a full week of actually laying up fiberglass right onto the glass itself to match the curve of the front, match the curve of the back and the top, because it's all different. And then it had to go a whole nother section down inside the door, so it held it inside also, and then had to create mounts inside the door for both the tracks and the motor. The doors are done in soft touch paint. If you could touch it, it actually feels leather-like. And then the bezel around it is done with custom stitched Alcantara. And that matches the center console, which is done in that same gray that's on the bezels, same stitching. And you have a carbon fiber gated shifter, which had to be developed for the actual shift pattern of this car. The seats themselves are from a 2005 Ford GT, carbon fiber backs, and I call them the rivets. The rivets or vents themselves are retro back to the GT40 from the 60s, whereas the instrument panel also is retro to the 60s. Now, the Alpine stereo sitting down there is not retro. I don't think the GT40s had an Alpine stereo in them with 4 speakers and a full sub. It's Bluetooth, Apple Play, microphone, it's got it all. It's got a real nice sound to it. If you can see that little red ring right here on the side, that's actually the emergency brake. Flick of the button and the emergency brake comes on, flick it off, and it turns off. It's a Whipple, really nice development by them, and has its own little computer. And up here we have an audio box rear view, which also has a front-facing camera, and as you can see, when I put it in reverse, the backup lines come on and go off all on their own. It has a full air conditioning system, the real powerful fan and AC compressor. It's got an OMP steering wheel, which has an NRG hooked up into an NRG quick release. Takes 2 hands to do it, so I'm not gonna do it. I tried. Now down in the foot box, we have the unit for the electric power assist brakes. It's from a Tesla, and it's electronic, and the pedals just pushing it in, and it's motorized to give a power assist. It just changes the entire car, the way it drives and how it feels driving, and just makes it easy. You know, it's a lot of work, manual brakes, and it gets tiring even on just a fun drive. This, just a touch of the brakes and it stops fully. Real powerful, and it's got a bias front to back, so dialed it in so that neither lock up and keep it balanced. So there's more forward braking than back, which is typical. And then there's also power steering. You can see up above the brake unit, and it says steer power steering. That goes in line on the D shaft from the steering column to the steering rack, and it just powers up and gives assist in steering. Especially at low speeds, it's real nice to have. And an 8-inch subwoofer between the seats like the original GTs. I'm going to pause a second, open the back. The back opens again with the key fob. Just a push of a button and it releases it. So under the hood, you have a Gen 3 Coyote with a Gen 5 Whipple. The larger elliptical throttle body. Can't see it, it's tucked inside there. But this thing makes endless power. It's just unbelievable. It just keeps pulling and pulling. Headers are custom handmade to fit this car and frame. See, they all wrap around and bundle up into collectors, go into cats, and from there into mufflers. Transaxle is a Graziano 6-speed. The axles are custom made for this car to go from Graziano out to the wheel bearings on the outside. Drive Shaft Shop makes them. We have the coolant tank for the supercharger and the actual cooler for the supercharger down here, which is also got an electronic fan on it to control it. The wheels are encapsulated in wheel wells, top over and front and back of them, whereas the fronts are also. Custom made taillights just as I'm walking around, and you see the tips of the exhaust, which matched the actual body color. Happy accident. That's the intake tube, because it comes out the front at an angle and has to wrap around and go down. Collect some air from this carbon fiber vent here. Got fuel pressure regulator for the actual fuel injectors, but then it also is direct port injected from a fuel pump on the other side, which makes about 3,000 psi, which still just is unbelievable. So I think I said it already, but this car just outdoes anything that I thought possible in building a car like this. From the power to the power brakes, the power steering. It just makes it better than OEM. It's just an incredible car, incredibly fun to drive, and just incredibly exciting. I know I use the word incredible a lot. Thanks for watching. So I'm going to start her up. Has a nice growl to it. When it sits down and idles beautifully. Not too loud at idle. Want it to go and really growl. Try to get the real snap to it. It just is dying to go all the time.